This is the market rundown for November 14th. So here's a chart of the S&P 500. As I mentioned last week, the major market mover was the CPI report. Unfortunately, I thought the CPI report would come in hotter than expected, and it came in much lower than expected. And we can see what the market did. So here is Wednesday where the market went down, and then Thursday the report came out, and you can see a major gap up, and then it just extend. And then Friday, even though the bond markets were closed, the market still went higher. So the S&P 500 went up about 6.5% from the close of Wednesday to the close of Friday, all based off the CPI report. And what's crazy is that if we pull up the NASDAQ, you actually will see how much higher the NASDAQ went, the S&P 500. So here's when the CPI report came out. Went up 7% in one day, which is just outrageous. So you saw the market shoot up. The interesting thing about a low CPI report is that the dollar fell. So if I go to the dollar index, let's pull this up here, and then what you see is the dollar fall. When the dollar fall and rates fall with it, what you see is commodity prices shoot up. So if I go to the ETF COM, which is a commodity ETF, you'll actually see you see the prices shoot up. So here is the close of Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, went up about 3% in those 2 days, and particularly. You have copper that shot up, I believe, 8. So you can see copper here. Here's the close of Wednesday and the close of Friday. You can see it went up 8%. Now you can see this pre-market Monday, and it's like it's dropping back down. But 8% move in 2 days in copper. Let me also pull up WTI here. And you can actually look at oil, because oil, it looks like it's forming an interesting chart here. You can see it's got an ascending triangle, and if oil prices get above about the 93 level out of this triangle, they can move higher. So the question becomes, where do we go from here? We have a lower than expected inflation report. Does it show that, lower than expected CPI report? So it shows that inflation is cooling. Our market's going to continue to go up from here between now to the end of the year. Or are they going to go lower? We'll see what happens. One thing that this issue about the latest CPI report is the adjustment in the healthcare, health insurance. There's 2 articles that do a great job. They go into detail. Here's one of them, but it goes in and basically just explains how the health insurance adjustment really counts for the the low CPI number. And then there's another one about Bloomberg, which you have to pay to get. But again, these are great articles that really do a good job of going in depth of why the health insurance adjustment produced the low CPI number, and how this will not be calculated into the core and CPI number that comes out December 1st. So I'll put 2 links at the bottom of the video so you can check those out. Another factor here is the Fed announces it wants to borrow $700 billion by the end of the year, get its cash balance up. And so here you can see this blue line is the reserve balance, liabilities and capital, and then you can see the purple line is the market. Now this, as you can tell, the market kind of trades off of this, at least this year has, where the reserve balance is. And so if they're going to up the reserve balance to 700 billion, well, this is going to go down, and you can see where the market is. Most likely the market's going to follow. So 2 major factors there, the reserve balance, but also the CPI report, the core CPI report that won't have that health insurance adjustment. could mean that the markets will go much lower between now and the year. The problem is what happens, this week, next week, before December 1st, before these reports come out. The market could go higher. It's really hard to say. As for this week is option expiration week. That includes the VIX. Most of the options are between 4,100 and 3,900 on the S&P 500. So most likely this week's going to be somewhere in that range. What I am looking at this week is again Oxy. I'll pull up the chart so you can see very similar chart that I showed last week. It did drop down below the ascending triangle, but then went back up. If the dollar drops, you have oil prices going up. Oxy could get above this 75, 76 level and break out of this resistance area above this ascending triangle. It can go much higher. So this is what I'll be looking at the most this week. But good luck. I hope you guys have a great week of trading.